Okay, in this tutorial we'll be learning how to draw a cartoon cat using Adobe Illustrator. Now this is less about drawing the cat than it is about learning how to use the shape tools and learning how to use the Pathfinder tool and distribute and align and layers in Illustrator. So let's take a look at some of the steps that we'll use to get this done. First off, we're going to use a reference image as a guide. So always look something up on the internet to look at, or a photograph, or something that you know what it should look like. You're going to use major shapes with the shape tools like the rectangle tool, the polygon tool. You can reshape some things and remove some points as you go. You're going to use align and distribute shapes in the align panel so you can get some evenness to your design. You're going to combine shapes using the Pathfinder panel. That way you can create one shape that's got more complexity than a single shape by itself. You're going to use layers effectively to stack up items to get the look you want, and we're going to go from there. So to start off with, I'm going to treat this as if I'm building for the web. I'm going to use the 800 by 600. I can crop it later if I want to. So I'm going to start off, and I'm just going to worry about the face right now. So I'm going to start off with an ellipse for the shape of the face. Right now I'm just building the shape, and I'm not too concerned about things like colors. And as you can see, I'm just trying to build the shape of the mouth and the muzzle and the nose, and I'll put in some eyes. Okay, so that's a reasonably good start. What am I missing still? Ears, of course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the polygon tool. That's a new one for us, I think. And if I click with the polygon tool, it can let me choose how many sides. I'm going to go with 3, and the radius will be 50 pixels, which is kind of a wild guess, actually. So I can take this and move it over here. Now, so far this is overly simplified, and you know, it's like we cut this out of paper in kindergarten or something, which is a good thing to do in kindergarten, but we want some more style to it. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take the corners of these lines, and I'm going to give them curve by clicking Convert Selected Anchor Point to Smooth. So there's that. Let me take this one and do the same thing. Now I could copy and paste, but what I want to do is create something that is a little more variety in it. So I can adjust these as I see fit. And what I'm going to do later is I'm going to copy and paste those to go inside themselves. Now what I also want to add to this is I want to add some whiskers on the edge. So if I keep using that polygon tool, I can keep drawing some triangles. And I'm just thinking shape right now. I'm not getting too concerned with color. And by alt dragging that along, I can create some more variety to it. More shapes. So let me shrink that one down. Stretch this one out, change them up a little bit. Okay, so if I take those 3 shapes, for example, and use the Pathfinder tool, now I've got, here's my Pathfinder, Unify. I'm going to use the Unify button in Pathfinder, and now I've got this shape here. Now as you can see, that's really kind of jaggy on the edge of his face, so I'm going to alt drag it over. New procedure, we're going to use object, transform, and we're going to use reflect, which is like mirror imaging it through a vertical axis. As you can see here, there's a little diagram that shows how I'm flipping it. So I do this and it reverses the direction. Now, let's take that and combine it with the shape of the head. So selecting with shift to get all 3 of them, and now I unify. Now I just lost everything in my picture already. So going to my layers panel, I'm going to pay attention to my layers. If I select this piece, you'll notice it's at the top of my layer. So I can take it and stack it and drag it to the bottom of the stack. Or you can also use in the object menu, arrange, send to the back. So there I've got the shape of my face again. And if you want to create some variety, not a bad idea to move some stuff around. If it's completely symmetrical, it sort of loses its appeal. And you can also take those endpoints and convert them to curves, which I don't like too much, but I do want some pointiness to it and some curves. So the reason I went to curves on those is so I could more easily create a more natural and less geometric look. We can take points out by choosing the minus anchor point tool. If you hit delete, you can actually get different results, which is not what I want right now. So I'm going to change these to curves, move these around, just trying to get a different feel to it. And you'll notice that the ends, if I zoom in on this, let me zoom in on this. Okay, now I can see it better. The ends have these handles on them. These are called handles. And the closer the handle is to the point it is connected to, the more pointy that particular point gets, the more angled, the sharper it gets. So there's some places like, some places like right here that I'm going to, so I continue to take each individual point and adjust the handles until I get the look I want. This one here, I can leave it pointed, or let's see what happens if I make it curved. Yeah, I don't like that very much. Let's go back to pointed. So undo or Control Z. Okay, zoom back out and let's see what we got so far. So now I'm going to start applying colors in a minute. Let me take this ear, and if I take the ear, let's just move the ear over here for a second. Alt, drag it over. Let's shrink this one down, and let's use the Align panel to align those two pieces. So here, I'm going to align this vertically, horizontally, and now I've got the ear look that I want. So, I'm just going to save that for later. Let's do the same thing with this one and shrink it down somewhat. Because what I really want to do is take these two pieces and, you got it, I'm going to combine them with the head shape like this. And again, I'm going to have to move that to the back. So Object, Arrange, Send to the back. So now these pieces I cut out earlier, I can mess with them. And we're getting there. Now let's start applying some color. So this I'm going to apply some gray to. This part of the mouth I'm going to apply some lighter gray to. And you can pick what color your kitty cat is. And now I'm starting to have the look of a cat. The only thing I'm still missing is the mouth. And you could draw that with the brush tool if you want to. And what's missing also is the eyes. So if I take the eyes, I'm going to set my fill to black and drop the rest of the eyes in place. Okay. Now a couple things you can do also, just to throw some advanced techniques at you, is select, for example, this shape here, and we're going to try something like the Effects menu. Try Effects and Distort and Transform, and we're going to try, let's try Roughen. And if I click on Preview, it shows me the results. So what I'm trying to get is, let's see, let's go with Smooth. I'm trying to get a more furry look to it. And I'm just trying to give it some alterations. And the size, I can tool around with those. And now if I take that and Object, Expand Appearance, now I've got a bunch of points I can work with individually. So now I can adjust each of these to get more look I'm after with this. So taking that and moving it up. Oops, turns out there's two parts to that. Okay, so you sort of get the idea, and there's some ways to develop some different looks with your design, and you can feel free to take the brush tool and apply some additional shapes to it if you want. Give them some expression, give them a little bit of a hairdo, give them some whiskers. And there you have it. Make sure you put your name on it and post it on your account at Edmodo. Peace.